right now?
Ready.
Okay. Okay, so as Mrs. Statement said, I'm here to talk about Reconstructing Amelia by Kimberly McCreight. Do you know how to say her last name? Anyway, I read this book because it was recommended for people who loved Gone Girl, and I love the plot turns and twists of that book. Reconstructing Amelia is similar in that it too has its fair share of twists, but aside from that, it is its own epic tale of how quickly someone's life can change and the many layers you sometimes have to peel to find out the truth. The story focuses on Amelia, a high school sophomore who is smart, cute, and independent. She was raised by a single mom and spends a lot of time on her own. I wouldn't exactly call her a goody two-shoes, but she definitely stays close to the straight and narrow. One day, her mom gets a call at work saying that Amelia has been expelled for cheating and that she needs to come to pick her up immediately. By the time she gets there, though, Amelia is dead, seemingly from jumping off the third floor of the fancy private school that she attends. There is one word written on the wall next to where she jumped: sorry. Her death is quickly ruled as suicide, and her mother begins to grieve. About a month after the funeral, she gets a text on her phone from a blocked number that reads, "Amelia didn't jump." The text confirms what she had felt in her heart, but wasn't sure she could trust based on her emotional state. Amelia's mom, Kate, quickly begins to dig through Amelia's personal life and realizes that there was a lot more to the story. All she'd been able to think about since getting the text that said Amelia hadn't jumped was how she should have been more involved in the investigation in the first place. How could she have trusted all of it to some detective who she suspected might not care about closing cases than finding out the truth? She should have looked through Amelia's things herself. She should have thought more about the right questions to ask and had the courage to ask them, no matter how much people had wanted her to be good and stay quiet, no matter how guilty she had felt. Instead, Kate had folded in on herself and around her grief, accepting an explanation for her daughter's death that she never fully believed. Because blocking it out had been easier than fighting, it had been the only possible way to survive. It was hard for me to figure out exactly how to summarize this book. It definitely revolves around Amelia, but also focuses quite a bit on Kate, her mom. Their lives to that point were so entwined, despite Kate's long hours at work, the fact that she never knew who her dad was, Amelia, and how that related to the choices she made leading up to her death. I can't remember how quickly I read this book the first time around, but when I decided to use this book for Mrs. Stament's book talk, I decided to read it again, and it was super hard to put down. I read the second half in one night because there was just not a good stopping point. I had to know what happened, even though I had read it before and kind of already knew. There is so much more I wish I could tell you about this book, but I feel like it would ruin the awesomeness of each development. I will just say this. It has all the makings of a classic, but with a few new school elements as well. True love spurn, friends who would do anything for each other, and a girl who ended up falling into the wrong clique and paid the ultimate price.